I just watched an episode of Game Grumps that'll never leave my mind. Ever. The video was taken down immediately after I was done watching it. I just got home from a long day at work and thought, hooray, a new Game Grumps video. The title was gamegrumpsbarry.avi, which I thought was a little weird. Maybe Barry just got a little lazy or somehow forgot to edit the title all the way. I didn't think too much of it. I clicked on it, and it was already fully loaded as I watched it already. The video length was 0 minutes and 0 seconds, but the seek bar was non-existent. Again, YouTube had a tendency of fucking up, so I blew it off. But here's where things started getting weird. The intro was very slow, like 0.2x speed, and heavily distorted. Aaron and John's grump faces had no mouths, and had no animation. The intro lasted about 20 seconds, and I was starting to get a little freaked out by this. Maybe this was a horror game, and Barry was setting the mood or something. At least, that's what I thought. When the intro was over, there was silence for about 3 minutes. I tried to skip parts, but the syncing bar was gone. I wanted to refresh the page, but I couldn't put myself to go through the intro again. After the silence, I could hear John's voice over some static.
Barry.
He screamed, not comedically screaming either. I could literally feel all the hairs on my arms stand up. It seemed like John needed Barry's help. The screen turned to Sonic 06. They were on the character selection screen, and they must have unlocked Silver because the screen was on him, displaying 0% complete. Maybe this video would get better, but it didn't. The static got progressively louder as John's screams did for Barry, when suddenly it stopped abruptly. Now the sound was crystal clear.
Barry,
John said. There was the classic Game Grumps yellow text over the silver saying, "I don't care, John." He started to sob nightmarishly. "Aaron, why?" The yellow text displayed. "Good. It's your turn to die now, John." The crying continued, getting worse and worse. John was crying about Aaron, who presumptively was dead. The yellow text would get more and more aggressive, saying things like, "You're both worthless. It's time you died, you stupid shit. I own the show, not you two useless retards." At this point, I wanted to turn it off, but I just couldn't. The static started up again, which distorted John's sobbing. I could distinctly hear someone open up the door to the Game Grumps room. John tried to make out words, but couldn't bring himself to. The static was wearing down, and I could hear the conversation more clearly. "You pushed him, John. This is your fault. Why did you do this?" John just babbled out words that I couldn't understand. I started crying myself, as if I felt his sadness inside of me. His crying was so real. I knew it wasn't some fucked up prank. I started to shake horribly. "Pick up the gun, John." John cried louder. "Pick up the fucking gun, John!" At this point, John was screaming at the man in the Game Grumps room. "Fine. If you won't do it, I will." The yellow text displayed. "This is my favorite part." John screamed,
Barry,
and a loud gunshot was heard. The auto completely cut, and more yellow text appeared that said, "Rip Aaron Harrison. R.I.P. John Jafari. February 2013. The screen stayed on for another 10 minutes. I sat there, completely paralyzed. After the silence, the screen went to black for a moment, and a picture of Aaron and John on the ground next to the Game Grumps room was completely fading, slowly. Aaron's face was completely covered in blood, and it was like he was also crying. John was next to him, with a gunshot in the forehead. They both lay in a huge puddle of their own blood. The static got insanely loud, to the point I had to turn it off. The yellow text appeared one last time before saying, "They deserved it." I don't know what I saw, but I'm glad the Game Grumps are alive. At this point,